bookworms? My name is Kaylin and welcome back to my channel, Thriving in Fiction. Today I'm going to be doing my April monthly wrap-up. You guys, I had such a good reading month. I'm so excited. Let's get into it. No. Stay. So for the month of April, I've read 6 novels and 1 novella, and I am about 66 pages through Gods of Shade and Shadow right now. And I still have the better part of a week left in April to read, so I'm sure by the time you guys are seeing this that I will have finished this book. So if you want more of my thoughts on this book, I'm sure it'll be coming in an upcoming video. But back to the books that I did finish. So the first book I want to talk to you guys about is American Gods by Neil Gaiman, and oh my god, did I love my time with this book. Neil Gaiman, oh my god, where do I start with Neil Gaiman? His prose, nobody writes morbid, macabre, atmospheric, but whimsical settings the way Neil Gaiman does. I can't describe the atmosphere that he creates in his books. So Neil Gaiman's prose and atmosphere mixed with the performances of the ensemble cast in the audiobook was just chef's kiss. I loved my time with this so much. So in this book, you're following Shadow, who is a recently released ex-convict. He's released early from prison because his wife and best friend has just passed away. And on his way home for the funerals, he meets up with a man called Mr. Wednesday. And from there, he is swept up into this world and this mythology that surrounds Americans and their beliefs and their gods. But really, I think this was just Neil Gaiman's love letter to America and the ideals it represents while also not shying away from its brutal reality sometimes. And it's delivered in this macabre, whimsical prose and story that is beautiful. And while I loved the world building and the atmosphere and just sinking into that world, my one complaint would be character agency. So Shadow is the main point of view character. You're living with him throughout most of the book. There are some interludes throughout, so you're getting different perspectives and different bends on this world that you're in. But Shadow as a character who is grieving lacks a lot of agency. The plot is happening to him. He doesn't have much an effect on the plot. He doesn't move the plot forward. The plot happens to him, which does make sense narratively, but it's just not the characters that I like to read about. Generally speaking, I love this book and I loved my time with it, but it was more for the atmosphere and the concepts being discussed and seeing Neil Gaiman's love for America, but it lacked when it came to Shadow and his character. So that would be my one complaint, but still, an amazing read. And the next book I'm going to talk to you guys about that I finished this month is Mort by Terry Pratchett. And I just think it's so fitting to talk about these two authors back to back in the same month together. So, Mort. Where do I start with Mort? So, in this book you're following Mort, who is Death's apprentice, like Grim Reaper personification of Death. His apprentice. It was so witty and heartwarming and ridiculous, and everything that everyone says Terry Pratchett's work is Mort. If I had any complaint, I think it would be that the ending kind of wrapped up quickly, but I mean, it's a short book, so it does make sense. But I love the characters and the world building, and of course I have some quotes for you guys. So, history unravels gently, like an old sweater. It has been patched and darned many times, reknitted to suit different people, shoved in a box under the sink of censorship to be cut up for the dusters of propaganda. Yet it always, eventually, manages to spring back into its old familiar shape. History has a habit of changing the people who think they are changing it. History has a few tricks up its frayed sleeve. It's been around a long time. I love just seeing Pratchett's wit and his commentary on different things, and it's so facetious. I also love that Death loved cats. I love cats, so I love that Death had a soft spot for the kitties. If you're looking for just a witty, quick, clever read, I highly recommend Mort by Terry Pratchett. And the novella I read this month is All Systems Red by Martha Wells, and this is the first novella in the Murderbot Diaries. This was a really quick read. I picked it up right after I finished Mort, and I found it was a good complementary book with it. So in this book, you're following Murderbot, and it is a robot who has hacked into its governor module, which is like the controlling aspect of its AI, and so it has more agency than it should. And it's trying to hide this fact from the humans it's on a mission with. So they are on a remote planet conducting research, and it's its job to keep the humans there safe. But really, it's just following this socially anxious robot, and all it really wants to do is sit down alone away from the humans on its mission because it's socially anxious and watch its soap operas. It was a really fun, quick, easy read. I'm really impressed with what the author was able to do with such a little page count in terms of world building and character arcs in such a short story, but it's really piqued my interest, and I'll probably be checking out the rest of the novellas in the series, and if I like them, continue on to the novel that just came out. And the next book I want to talk about is the third in a trilogy, so I'm going to keep it really brief, and I've already talked about the series at length on my channel, so I'll keep it really brief and just mention that I finished The Poison Song by Jen Williams today. Like I said, it's the third in a trilogy, so there's not much I can get into plot-wise. I'll just say that it wrapped up the themes and the plot really, really well, and I really enjoyed my time in Sarn. And the last two books I want to talk to you guys about today are two books within the same trilogy, so I thought I'd talk about them together, and that is The Blade Itself and Before They Are Hanged by Joe Abercrombie. And you guys, I don't know if I can begin to articulate what it is I love about this world, these characters, this writing style. All of it together comes together, makes something beautiful. I really didn't think I was a grim, dark fantasy reader until I picked up Joe Abercrombie, and I will be forever grateful that I did. Between the absolutely brilliant character work, these characters that you're following feel so real. And Abercrombie's prose is just so thoughtful and intentional. You know exactly which POV character you are sitting with the moment you read the first sentence because they are all so distinct. He uses distinct writing styles with each POV character, and it's just absolutely brilliant. These are by far my favorite books I've read this month, and I had an amazing reading month. Alright guys, so that has been my monthly wrap up for April. Let me know if you've read any of these books in the comment below. Did you love them? Did you hate them? Drop a comment and let me know. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next one, guys. Bye.